Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. The problem of the ZiG is not going away. The regime has launched this new currency with the hope that it will end the hyperinflation in the country. At the present moment, there is the golden coin called the ZiG, which you can trade. The paper currency is supposed to be issued on the 30th of April. And yet already the ZiG itself, the coin, is losing its value. When it was launched on the 5th of April, $1 was equal to 13.73 ZiG. But as of yesterday, on the black market, you needed 23 ZiG to get $1. And so the regime has stepped up on the violence. Yesterday, I showed a video clip of the police beating up the money exchangers. Tonight, I'd like to show you a video clip of the vice president.
Zimbabwe anoziva mamuchiti chii mamani chenja kuti hanzi ndakumuka kuenda kubasa regerai vakomana hatidi kuti ukanganiswe uzoita upenyu waremara handiti regerai ndati chii ngati.
That is a sickening threat. Here is the country's vice president saying that the money exchanges, they are risking being crippled. To those of you who do not understand what's going on here, let me just explain. The normal thing with this hyperinflation is that the local currency, there will be an official exchange rate if you want to buy foreign currency. Of course, if you're going to trade locally, internally, you can use your local currency. The problem comes is that Zimbabwe's economy has almost collapsed. So a lot of things are being imported. And when you're going to import something, you cannot buy it in local currency. You need the foreign currency. In a normal functioning economy, you will go to the bank, change your local currency, and buy foreign currency at the official exchange rate. No fuss. But in a country where the local currency is losing its value at the rate at which I've just described, when the ZiG was issued on the 5th of April, it was worth $1 was worth 13.73 ZiG. But now you need 23 ZiG to buy the same $1. That means the ZiG has lost 70% of its value in 2 weeks. So as you can see, the pressure then is you want to buy the US dollar because it holds its value. The ZiG does not hold its value. That only increases the pressure to buy the US dollar. And the official exchange rate at the bank remains still at 13.73 to one US dollar. Now, if you have got the US dollar, of course, you would not want to go to the bank and sell a US dollar and be given 13.73 ZiG for your US dollar. You'd rather sell it on the black market where you'll get 23 ZiG for your US dollar. But if you want to buy the US dollar, of course, you'll be wiser to go to the bank and buy it at the official exchange rate because you don't use as much ZiG. This is where the problem lies. The bank themselves would not want to sell their US dollar at the official exchange rate. And so what you find yourself in a situation here is only those with power and influence can buy Forex at the official exchange rate. And what they do is they buy the Forex at the official exchange rate, which could rise up to, say, for the sake of, to make it simple, 10 times as much. The official exchange rate in the bank is X, and on the black market is 10 times that, 10X. So what they do is those with influence, those with power, buy at the official exchange rate, give the Forex to their street runners who will go and sell the Forex on the black market and get 10 times as much in the local currency for it. They go back to the bank, buy some more foreign currency. An ordinary person, you walk into the bank and you say you want a foreign currency, the bank will tell you they don't have any. And yet the pressure for the ordinary person is for you to sell it to the bank at the official exchange rate. The alternative is to sell it on the black market, be on the street, and will be beaten up by the police. So the primary purpose of these threats by Vice President Chiwenga are really meant to send a clear message that the black market is a cornered market. In the past, it was common to find that those money changers with the right connection will have more money than the banks themselves. They will have brand new crisp local dollars when the banks themselves are running out of cash. The regime was printing the money and was even giving it to their street operators to soak up the US dollars. There is a lot of money to be made here. If by just buying Forex at the official exchange rate, sell it on the black market, you come back and buy more Forex at the bank. You've increased your amount of forex by tenfold. Just doing that alone, just one cycle of that, tenfold. That is amazing. There is no business activity out there that increases your profits at such a rate. And so that is why there is such a scramble to be a money changer, because there's a lot of money to be made here. And the authorities are using brute force to corner the market. The ordinary person at the end of the day is the one that is losing, and losing big time. The officials are not worried about this high inflation, as long as they get their cut, because for you to be able to work as a street seller, money exchanger, you need protection from somebody with power and influence who can tell the police if you get arrested to release you, which is quite normal. But to be quite honest, there is nothing illegal that these street exchanges are doing. The country officially uses multi-currency. In other words, there is nothing wrong with anybody trading the currencies. Just like you go into a shop, if you're allowed to use multi-currency, you can tell the customer they can pay for their goods in local currency or in forex. These are the two prices. If you're paying in US dollars, you pay so much. If you're paying in local currency, you pay so much. There's nothing illegal about that. This is a country that uses multi-currency. So if the shop owner is allowed to do that, why can't I, as an individual, I meet a friend and he says to me, oh, I need some US dollars for whatever reason. And I can say to him, okay, you give me the local currency and I'll give you the US dollars. And this is the exchange rate. There is nothing illegal with that. This is a country that allows you to use multi-currency. If the regime wants to ban people from trading in foreign currency, then it should come up with a law that says the only currency that can be used as legal tender in Zimbabwe is the ZiG. And you can only buy and sell foreign currency at the bank or designated money changers. That will be perfectly fine, but there is no such law. So what Chiwenga and the police are doing is actually illegal. These people are being arrested for no other reason than that the official, those who will be designated official street runners for these chefs, want to corner the market. Because they're not going to stamp out black market. That is one thing that is very clear. If I am a business operator, I, at the end of the day, find myself with 100 US dollars and 2,000 ZiGs. And I know that the ZiG is losing its value on a daily basis. Before I go to bed that night, it's either I spend the ZiGs or I trade it for a more stable currency, the US dollar, or the rand or whatever. I'm not going to go to the bank and trade that for the local, for the US dollars, buy the US dollar at in fact, if I want to buy the US dollar at the bank, they will tell me they don't have it. Even if I am depositing US dollars, assuming I've got 2 accounts, tomorrow if I want to come back and get the US dollar to withdraw from my own account, the US dollar, they'll tell me they don't have it. Only those people with influence have got it. So why would I want to sell my US dollar to the bank at the official exchange rate and one, find it impossible to take money from it the following day, or two, if I am lucky to get it, I'll be asked to be paid at the official exchange rate. That is a serious problem. And the regime, I think what it is doing here is simply not going to work. It's only making the situation worse. It's only making the rich more rich at the expense of the poor. Because as long as Zimbabwe remains a multi-currency, uses multi-currency, then there is nothing illegal with me or anybody, including the so-called money changers, holding large amounts of money in forex or in local currency. I, as a business person, I should be able to buy foreign currency from anybody who has it to carry out my business activities. At the end of the day, these people will buy that foreign currency on the black market. They can't get it in the official sources, so they get it at the black market. It's only going to push inflation. What we are having, what we are seeing here is a country that is in crisis. There are fundamental economic and political reasons why the Zimbabwe currency has been unstable. And to try to gloss over those fundamental weaknesses is at the heart of our problem here. Those fundamentals have not been addressed. The white elephant in the room has not been resolved. And so the ZiG will face the same challenges that the other currencies in Zimbabwe faced, with the typical situation where we had the hyperinflation of 2008, which reached a staggering 500 billion%. All business came to the halt. Could get nothing in the shops. How could you trade, do any business at all, and be paid in what? Local currency? Because that was the only official currency then, although the US dollar was coming in illegally. But officially, the only legal tender was the Zimbabwe dollar. But it was losing its value so much that it was really impossible to price anything in local currency, to do business in local currency. You cannot do any work and say to somebody, okay, for me to do this work for you, you've got to pay me $100,000. And yet, if that work takes you a day or 2 days, by the time you're finished, that $100,000 is worth nothing or very little. So it became very difficult to do business. And so business ground to a halt. I think we are going to see the same thing here. Yes, this time we are allowed to trade in multi-currencies. But once they start bringing in the printed, the paper money, the paper ZiG, we will be seeing the value of the ZiG falling even more dramatically. The present situation where you have gone from 13.73 ZiGs to a US dollar to 23 in 2 weeks makes the ZiG absolutely valueless. It's very difficult to do business using the ZiG. This is what we are facing. Here is, before I conclude, here is a clip of a video that was done by the regime propaganda when they launched the bond note. And at the time, the country was told that is Ngenje Ngenje. One bond note is to $1. But that didn't last very long. One is to one to the American dollar. It didn't last. The ZiG is going the same route. My heart bleeds for the many ordinary Zimbabweans who will have no choice but to trade in the ZiG. Those with the economic muscle, they can afford to say, no, I don't want to be paid in ZiG. Or if you're going to pay me in ZiG, if the official exchange rate is X, they will ask for much higher than X. Typically, they will ask for an exchange rate that is even higher than the black market rate. Because they'll be saying to themselves, listen, for me to reorder my stock, I have to buy the US dollar on the black market. I can't get it from the bank. I have to go and buy it on the black market. And the black market rate is 10 times X. Companies with the right connections will also be making a killing. In the past, it was quite common to have companies that supply the country's oil being allocated foreign currency by the Reserve Bank at the official exchange rate. They'll go and buy the fuel, bring it into the country, and they'll be selling their fuel not at the official exchange rate if you are going to pay in local currency, but at the black market exchange rate. Indeed, one of the crises that was created was shortage of fuel. with these people, instead of buying the fuel, they took the foreign currency that they got straight onto the black market. Buy, sell it at the black market rate, get all that money in local currency, take it to the Reserve Bank, and increase their foreign currency earning 10 times straight away, without having to drive a tanker to go and collect fuel and take it to the garage and all that stuff. To those with the right connection, hyperinflation, it's time to make super duper profits from just handling of the exchange. But to those who do not have the right connection, these are going to be really, truly tough times. It is disheartening, of course, when those in power are threatening to use brute force to corner the market. I'll just finish off with playing the video from the Vice President, Chwenga, threatening the money exchanges with brute force. You'll be crippled if you stay in this business.
iZimbabwe anoziya mamuchiti chima mani chenja kuti hanzi ndakumuka kuenda kubasa regerai vakomana. Hatidi kuti ukanganiswe uzoita upenyu waremara, handiti? Regerai ndati chi? Ngati.
Thank you very much for listening. I think this story of the ZiG is not yet over. This is just the beginning. Frankly, until Zimbabwe is a pariah state, and until we sort that problem of financial, economic, political problems, will never go away. Thank you very much for listening. Good night.